Austin. It's the 24th of August in the year 2020, the year everything changed. Remember back to 2019 in live streams, I kept saying, I wonder if 2020 has any magical meaning to these guys. I'm not a big numerology guy, but I said it all the time, and I just find it really, really, really odd that 2020 has just been one giant cluster F with no Vaseline. And it just keeps going and going and going. You guys hearing me all right? My audio good? It's hard to tell. I think it is, but I've been having issues. I was born with issues. What's up? What is up, homie lit? Lovely 144, Raz Taz, Ramsey the Truth Brothers, Joe Kermachi. I don't know how to say that, brother. Flats Jack, Zulu 1, Changing Lifestyle, Hamster Products, blah, 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 so forth and so on. How's my audio? Anybody? 5x5? Good to go? All right, cool. So, once again, I tried to videotape the owl last night, and he just won't show up. But that's all right, because it puts me at the top of a mountain. Usually, I'm joined by Mike Decker, or if he's got to do concrete first thing in the morning, I'm not joined by Mike Decker. It's all good. It is what it is. It's good to be up there because you're away from all this. And I mean, these guys have been keeping the New World Order a secret from the sheep for so long that they are absolutely stoked to be able to finally say it. And still, I mean, they're literally saying it in every format, every way, every action, everything they do is New World Order. And people still don't get it. It's phenomenal to me. This right here, I mean, this amazes me because I've only been looking at this for a few hours, but I haven't seen any blowback on this yet. But Bill Gates said the U.S. fumbled. They fumbled the coronavirus response because we believe in freedom. We optimize for individual rights. This piece of shit scumbag, transgender, transvestite, whatever this is, human muppet right here. I don't know how come he's got all this juice, but he does. But I'll tell you what, I guarantee it ties back to the fact that his father helped Planned Parenthood kill, I think we're probably at 35 million babies so far this year. I think that's where he gets all the juice because that's been a big thing with these guys for a long time. But this is absolutely astounding to me that people aren't catching on to this whatsoever at all. They're slow rolling us, but they've started to speed it up. And it's not happening just here. It's happening all across the country, all across the world. I'm sorry. When I made that video, I think it was called Shock. Was it Shock and Awe? Yeah. When we invade a country, before we send in ground troops, or in our case, blue helmets, like they've shown us, we soften the country up. We take out their power completely. That would be the darkest winter. Take out the power completely, and then we bomb the stuffing out of them until our troops can basically, for the most part, walk through and do the cleanup. Well, they're doing the exact same thing to us. The entire western portion of the United States, all the way to Wyoming, is on fire. Myself, YouTubers Never Lose Truth, I'm sure a bunch of others. I haven't really been watching all that much YouTube, so they have got all types of weaponry, Starlink, SpaceX, the lightning weapons. I find it strange that lightning, Lucifer fell like lightning from heaven. Lightning is what's lighting up the entire West Coast and burning it. In the smoke here in Wyoming, you can't see the sky. We haven't seen the sky in 6 days whatsoever. You can see the ground, you can see the Badlands, and then it's entirely white. And then around 7:50, the sun pops out of the clouds, turns bright orange, and disappears, and the day's over. And then maybe at 2, 3 in the morning, you can see the stars. But it's absolutely unbelievable. And it just dawned on me, Lucifer fell like lightning from heaven. And lightning is what they're claiming is burning the entire West Coast. And then the East Coast has a pair of hurricanes coming up just in time to meet up with, once again, scumbag freak show Bill Gates, his $750 million genetically modified mosquitoes that he just released prior to the storm. So they were released there, and then the storm comes up and spreads them out all over the place. If you go to Bill Gates' YouTube channel, this dude loves mosquitoes. They're the deadliest animal on the planet. Well, mosquitoes are mosquitoes, and if you live in a place where you're drinking your own toilet water, chances are you're going to catch malaria. And then chances are a mosquito might spread malaria. But here's the deal. These people don't give a shit about those people out there whatsoever at all. The only reason Bill Gates cares about anybody in Africa or any other country of non-white people is so that he can inject them to see how badly his vaccine is going to damage them before he comes over here and tricks people into giving it to their newborn children. If, of course, they didn't abort them first. Because, once again, Planned Parenthood is Bill Gates. It's Bill Gates Sr. This evil MFer put up that video for 54 seconds. And me and Mike have been talking about this for a few days because I don't even know what to make of it. It looks like the Grim Reaper made of mosquitoes if you were taking morality pills that experts think we should take so that we'll be better for the next lockdown. They've already told us we're having another lockdown. This dude predicted the second wave, him and his husband, Melinda, or Melvin, whatever his name is. It's so see-through, it's amazing. If a pandemic were something that could actually happen organically, which now, at this point, all of us have learned, you can't get a virus unless your body produces it, because sometimes it has to, or if somebody jabs you with a needle, or the proboscis of a mosquito, the pointy thing on the end. One of my subscribers taught me that. Richie, it's a proboscis, not a nose. Mosquitoes don't have noses. So, yeah, he owns Xbox, indeed. Melvin Gates, I agree. So it's not just Bill Gates constantly telling us what the future is going to be magically and being right every single time. But now he's telling us America has too many individual rights. Let me tell you something. I said something in a video and somebody left a comment. I said, we've never had a pandemic. And then this dude said, excuse me, Richie, but 1916, 1950, 1990 something or other. If you think the news or a book telling you there was a pandemic means there was a pandemic, I don't know what to tell you. In 50 years, the biggest problem I ever had to worry about was chicken pox and venereal disease for sleeping with easy women. And I never ran into, I did get chicken pox when I was a kid. But pandemics, other than mainstream media pandemics, there's a pandemic, there's swine flu and bird cough and this, that, and the other thing, but they were never anything. They were primers to get us where we're at right now. When they told us last year that measles was going to kill your children and people didn't just laugh them out of the building, they figured they could get away with this. When they saw that we showed every single solitary piece of evidence in the world to show that 9/11 was completely 100% controlled demolition. Two planes brought down three buildings. And then another plane simply disappeared into a 15-foot hole in the ground in the middle of Pennsylvania that was already there. No blood, no bodies, no nothing. All good. When they saw that and then put Sandy Hook, mass shooting after mass shooting, all the other nonsense that we've been trying to show people the proof about, they knew they could get away with this. But I can't imagine they knew they were going to get away with this easily, which is why he's so comfortable being on the front page of the news. What is this, Fox News? This thing, I mean, oh my God. I can't even believe that people listen to anything this thing says. Look at him. It's disgusting. We have too much freedom. Here it comes. They're not going to stop because they feared us forever. And then after decades of recreational drugs, prescription drugs, fluoride vaccines, mainstream media, Hollywood casting its spell, really crappy popular music, and then turning Hollywood and sports stars into celebrities. We lost it because the people that would be standing with us right now aren't even paying attention. They're still pretending that Donald Trump is going to somehow help them, or QAnon. Let me tell you what, if Q or Anonymous had any juice whatsoever at all, they could at least hack into the highway signs that tell you to wash your hands with, get this, you're not going to believe this, they recommend that you wash your hands with soap and water. See, if I didn't have those signs in Massachusetts, I would have been washing my hands with dirt and peanut butter the whole time because I didn't know soap and water is what got your hands clean. If these dudes had any juice whatsoever at all, they could at least hack into those signs and say COVID is a hoax, even for 30 seconds, but they can't. They can't. This entire machine is up and running. D-Wave quantum computers, I'm positive, are behind this because it's moving along too perfectly. And meanwhile, which this bumps me up because I have a lot of subscribers in Australia. Meanwhile, Australia is getting the full New World Order treatment. People are getting pulled over in their cars and they're telling them to give up a blood sample. The guy says no. They storm his house. And now Australia is slowly getting rid of silver because you can't have coins. You can't have currency in a New World Order. It all has to be non-touch so you don't get the pandemic. They're going to get rid of the police, and they're working on that in the States right now. But Australia is going through the checklist of how to become a full-blown New World Order country. They're going country by country by country. And meanwhile, in the background, America is just getting lit up from every single angle. This is freaking me out because it's not even every day something pops up. It's like every hour. It's getting unbelievably ridiculous. And then here's our latest one. Unbelievable. These dudes are burning absolutely everything in Kenosha, Wisconsin down. And from the time I pulled this link up, I think like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, it went from people freaking out, knocking things over and burning stuff to National Guards coming in. Because suddenly our police are entirely ineffective. They're standing there wearing state-of-the-art riot gear, state-of-the-art weaponry, and there's lots of them. But somebody's telling them to stand down. So they just stand there and watch this happen, and then there's no choice but to bring in the National Guard. If you want to bring in a New World Order, you know what a great thing to have is? The National Guard and lots of dumb people. Look at this picture right here. That's just beautiful. Mike, check this out. You see this? That's a great picture. That's phenomenal.
Awesome.
There you go. There you go. Look at that. America. And the summer of racial inequality continues. That's what the mainstream's pinning it as. And yet I've been all over the country, all over the summer, and I'm not seeing any of this except on the mainstream. Granted, there is, Seattle has allowed them just to do whatever they want the entire time. And it was about time for them to pick another one. And there will be another event this week. And then September, right around September 11th is just about the time, the 6-month period that Congress can look at the National Emergency Order or the National Disaster Area Order. So they'll have to do another event. And let me just remind people, this isn't my opinion. This is what it is. Everybody that still thinks that because Donald Trump is put on television and he's still tweeting, he has no power. He's a used car salesman. He is a spokesperson for the New World Order. That's not my opinion. He handed the keys to the United States over for the first time in the history of the country to FEMA. I saw it. You saw it. Mike saw it. That's still a thing. That doesn't just dissolve and go away. FEMA's still doing their job in the background while they still present Donald Trump as the talking head. That's all he is. Watch the video that channel, I can't remember their name, that woman that broke it all down, but still, he handed the keys over to FEMA. We're still under a national emergency and we're still a national disaster area. So Donald Trump has no power. That's the law. That's not my opinion. That's why he said it was nice being, and then he said it was nice having been your president. Americans have been so disciplined. Yeah, like little children or puppies or dogs. And Trump's always been one of them. I'm sure he's a car salesman. It seems strange that every single solitary day, another one of his family members pops up. I didn't know he had a brother. Suddenly his brother died. I didn't know he had a sister. Suddenly she's writing a tell-all book. Seems like we're in a movie, doesn't it? Every week we have a new bad guy or a new special guest. We do need to come together. But I'm telling you what, I have contacted, I have called out, I have commented, I have trolled all the major military survival channels that I've followed since I've been on YouTube since 2010. And they're all still talking Trump. They're all still talking RFID chip, like that's still a thing. It blows me away. The Constitution, indeed, where is that? Somebody just said the Constitution has been suspended. That's a fact. When you, as the president of the Corporation of the United States of America, declare a national emergency for the first time in the country's history, which it was, and then declare it a national disaster area, because I was in the last state to actually finally tap out and say, we're a disaster area, which was Wyoming. And that's when Trump handed the keys to FEMA. Congress cannot do one single thing about that disaster order. It's better than an executive order until 6 months. Unless, of course, something unfortunate happens 6 months later, which in our case would land around September 11th of 2020. There is no way. There's no way. With all these guys could just do whatever they want to us whatsoever at all. There is no way they're not going to just finally September 11th us right in our faces. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Look at this. Well, I mean, look at this again. This is unbelievable that once again they're rioting. Once again, it's out of control. It's just putting it right in the heartland of America, right in the middle. So it was good placement on their end. These guys they're getting good at this, and they're going to keep getting better. I told you back in the beginning, and I'm just some asshole from Boston, man. I'm actually from Lynn, Massachusetts, for those that are very concerned about things. Every day that we just do nothing is every day is that much more power that they have, and it's never coming back. We're not getting this back. We're going to have to ride this over the falls. It just matters how you ride this over the falls. Are you going to be a slave? Are you going to be a victim? Are you going to be a subject? Or are you going to be a problem? You know what I mean? Some of us have already publicly stated that we're going to be a problem, and they know that. So, all right, so let's look at some of the other phenomenal things that are happening to help the New World Order move forward, unabated, unobstructed, not even slowed down for once. Oh, look at this. These guys have been blowing up field. If you recall, I was at Mike Decker's. We talked about this for a while. Weather warfare was absolutely going to be a weapon because it's the ultimate weapon. If you can use a hurricane and decimate and disable a state or a bunch of towns, a bunch of counties, that's just as effective as a bomb, except you can't blame it on anybody. You can suspect it was them, but these guys are smoking the country. Iowa, Illinois, they're taking out the food supply. And the latest one, the train overturning full of an unbelievable amount of corn. Have you actually looked at this story? Because this is it right here. This is what the mainstream is showing you. A northern suburb of Minneapolis resembled a scene out of the Wizard of Oz, the Yellow Brick Road, the ultimate indoctrination Illuminati movie ever, and that's what they use. But they're trying to tell us this is the train rollover. This is what happened. It crashed and it dumped all the corn out. Won't play. That's phenomenal. Whatever. You can see the picture, right? Stand by. Let me show you. They're trying to tell you that the train tipped over and spilled all the corn out directly out of the track, directly down the track for several miles. That would be them laughing loudly in your face. The problem with that laughter is they are successfully and methodically taking away food. I mean, boom, 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 boom. When you see places like Chicago showing the inside of a hockey rink stacked to the ceiling with food, when the state is stockpiling food, we got a problem coming. Washington State's doing it, Illinois, and I'm sure others. Those are just the two that we know about. They are systematically using the weather and other comical methods to take away food. Corn's a big deal. You really need to have corn around. So they're going right after it. These guys know what they're doing. Check this out. This is supposed to be from a fireworks factory, remember? Mental Booths put this up on his channel. This is a close-up look of the Beirut fireworks explosion because they took all the most explosive fireworks and put it right in the middle of their only shipping port in where all the 83% of their grain was stored. And fireworks did this. That looks like a nuclear weapon went off right there, if those were real, or some variation thereof. But I mean, look at the damage it did to a super tanker. That's a big boat, man. You know what I mean? That would be them with one of their sky-based weapons. And I know everyone, days after this happened, everybody found a video that shows an Israeli missile hitting it. Here's the problem. If it was Israel, we wouldn't see it, okay? It's just how it works. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's just how it works. Second off, everyone's showing a missile hitting it, and yet it's already on fire and glowing red hot until it finally explodes. It's the next level directed energy. I believe it's coming from Starlink, and I believe it is not visible. A lot of people caught videos when Paradise happened of blue lights coming from the sky. So they brought the scientist in and said, you're going to have to fix this. And they did. So there's that. This is what these guys are doing with these weapons from the sky. I want to make this bigger, man. 10 million acres of Iowa's corn crops just utterly laid to waste. And the damage here is these silos. I don't know if you're not from the country or you don't live in rural areas, farming areas, etc., like I didn't. These things right here that are twisted up like toys are massive. They're absolutely massive. And whatever came through here and turned these fields into empty fields, it's a weapon. The Ice Age farmer made a comment, and I found it very comical yesterday. He said, it turns out in the New World Order, being near corn is incredibly dangerous. So stay back. Because if you start looking up cornfields, corn crops, farmers' corn, or corn destroyed, it doesn't stop. It goes on and on and on and on. Oh, Mike, I forgot that list that subscribers said. Well, one of my let me find this dude's name because he needs. I asked subscribers to make a list of all the damage going on all over the place, and Ernie Dial nailed it, man. Nailed it. I'll have to make a video right after this because there's a ton of them. Long story short is military bases and factories being blown up in the United States right now. It's pretty much an everyday thing. It's enough where people are making lists of them. They're taking out their food. They're taking out people's brains. And they're taking out your breathing air. This sky being, I've never seen this in my life. I've seen this in videos. I've never seen where the sky is totally white and the fires are far west. So imagine what California, Washington, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona are going through right now. Iowa, Idaho, all that stuff. These guys are doing this step by step, one by one, and nobody seems to be. I pray so hard that somehow God could put words in my mouth that I could just say and it would just click to people, because we're at the point of no return here. These guys, I mean, they're straight coming up. New World Order. Check this out. How many videos did I make on universal basic income? Well, while Australia is beating down their citizens and forcibly making them give COVID tests, Australia is taking away silver. I already said Australia, right? Australia is taking away ATMs, banks, silver, anything that you can pay somebody that a bank isn't involved in, Australia is taking away. But meanwhile, Germany has gone to universal basic income. Remember that crazy conspiracy theory that would never happen. $1,400 a month for 3 years. Well, some people right now just went, I wish they'd give me 14. Yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't. I know it might sound awesome. It might sound phenomenal. But when you take away a person's reason for being, if the New World Order came along and said, listen, this entire system's effed up, and you know what? We did it. But we made a lot of money. But here's the deal. We're going to have a New World Order. Don't harm anybody. Don't mess with anybody else. And you get to pick to do something you love for a living that uplifts the world. That would be awesome. That's the exact opposite of what these people are doing. Every single solitary person tied to this entire operation, specifically Gates and his father, are tied to, hey, why don't you kill your unborn baby? That'd be great. God would love that. Woe to those that harm the children, better of millstones tied around their neck and thrown into the depths of the ocean. God doesn't dig that. And Bill Gates and his father and all these other people are so very into this. It's unbelievable. They're systematically taking the country apart, and I'm running out of things to say, but here it is. Here it is. All the wacky conspiracy theory videos are now Business Insider. Associated Press. I'm not showing these, am I? Australia News. I forget that it's not all magic. But, oh, here's another phenomenal one. You know this is coming. Don't take the test. Do not take the shot. But in case you don't, if they don't get you with the morality pills or the psilocybin mushrooms in your water supply, they're already getting you ready. They're already prepping you. To get a vaccine is going to be your patriotic duty. Well, listen, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Patriotism was just another Republican, Democrat thing. They got us to worship flags and fight over them. It's a trick. I would have fought and died for this country. I would have fought and died for every one of you guys, and I still would. But I'm certainly not going to die for a flag anymore because it's all been a hoax. Somebody just recently made a video, a really big YouTube channel that I followed for a long time. Over 500,000 subscribers have been making videos and films about where we're at right now. And yet when we get where we're at, they stop making videos that make of any consequence whatsoever. You can pick any topic. You see the topics I just showed you? That's hour by hour by hour. Every single one of them pushes forward the New World Order agenda. The United States was a Freemasonic experiment, and they're done. They're done. They just needed to, I don't know what they needed to do. I always figured they needed to build up our military and build up generations of people that thought going to war was awesome, like back in the Roman days. And they support our troops. Go troops, USA. You know what I mean? We went in, I've said this a million times, we went into Iraq and killed over 1 million people, mostly women and children. And we still are killing them by depleted uranium, malnutrition, whatever. When people cheered for that, Iraq had nothing to do with anything. Saddam was a strongman installed and built up by us. We went in there for 13 years. Troops went door to door to door. That's good training, isn't it? Especially if you're going to come home and go door to door to door. That's still a thing. And I'm still waiting to see if this whole 750 million mosquitoes in the twin hurricanes converge and start spreading this all over the place, because you could indeed get sick from a genetically modified mosquito from our friend Bill Gates, the ones that thinks you have too many freedoms. So long story short, or long story longer, if you live in a place where there's mosquitoes, deep woods off, slather it. I do, Mike does, everybody does. You should. USA is a clay golem. Ooh, you just broke my brain, dude. USA is a clay golem. You know, like the one that Marina Abramovic did in the video, the spirit cooking. Take breast milk, sperm, urine, cut your middle finger with a knife, paint it on the wall, and then throw all sorts of poop and other things on top of a little clay. Oh. And who showcased her? Microsoft. She was the most inspiring person of the decade. I'm trying to find him. Here he is. Oh, Bill. I wonder where Bill is right now. I wonder if Bill's is scurried into a little hole below the ground or whatever. But I bet you Bill's not walking around, because I bet you the next whipped cream pie in the face is going to have a little bit more, probably have 164 grains behind it. Let's say that. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. That was a good comment, wasn't it? USA is a clay golem. It was an experiment. I always thought it was to build us up as the military arm, but after watching the UN's virtual concert where they straight came out, I mean, these guys love putting it in your face like a cream pie. And Bill Gates at the Olympics, they showed us COVID. At sports things, they show us this stuff all the time, but sadly, sports are canceled. The Olympics were canceled, so they had a virtual concert. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to my video on RFB, and it's the UN comes straight out with it. UN announces the New World Order. These guys are singing the exact phrase. Children are wearing a mask to stay alive. What a horrifying thing for a little boy or little girl to have to hear. Do you know what I'm saying? That is the ultimate mind F. The New World Order from behind closed doors. We will rise. We will rise. That's the phoenix. That's the back of your $1. That American eagle is a phoenix. The phoenix rises out of the ash of America. And then they have their New World Order. And they're coming. They're not messing around. They are without a doubt coming. So I do. I'm reading comments and answering like you know who I'm talking about. No, I'm all set. Anthony recycles. He watches stuff and says it a different way. Claims it as new. Sorry, Anthony, but it's true. At any rate. All right, guys. Richie from Boston. I will leave links below this. It's getting crazy. It's getting absolutely crazy. Have no fear, but prepare yourselves. Even if preparing yourself is simply praying and saying, what do I do? Believe it or not, if you ask, it comes back to you. It absolutely does. It freaks me out. And Marcia says, learn to can on YouTube. It's easy. Yeah, pretty much everything you need to know is still up. It's still up, but that's not going to be the case because we keep losing power. Anybody else? Just all of a sudden your power goes out for 5-10 minutes unexpectedly for no reason. Then it comes back on. And then usually the internet goes out behind it. California, Colorado is burning. Utah. Where else, Mike? Can you pull up that map real quick? I know it's a lot. Is it more than yesterday? Stand by. I have to check with my. Oh, yeah, that's more than that's. So yesterday it was. It's moving straight over. Now it's in South Dakota and it's past the middle line in Texas. So, yeah, not good. Not good. Do I have that app? Stand by. Didn't I? Hold on. There it is. Come on. That's awesome. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah, so this is way worse than just yesterday, and that's my point. Every single day, it gets worse and worse and worse. Yesterday, it wasn't all the way. I mean, it's almost across the Great Plains, and now this side. I'm not trying to say this like we told you so, but we told you when they really started going after this, they were going to use weather as a weapon. This is one of them. The East Coast will get water and water-related activities. And don't forget, there's a fault line right over here under the Appalachian Mountains that they can soften up or weaken up. But I'll leave you links to this as well. This is INSIWEB, Incident Information Systems. Don't be afraid, but understand. Leah says it. See this? Doing nothing is absolutely doing nothing. I listen to a couple of YouTubers when I have a signal because they usually have good stories because they never leave the house ever. They watch videos. Watching videos only isn't going to do it for you. It just isn't. These dudes are doing this. I don't know how much plainer it could possibly be. They're making songs now. We will rise. We will rise. We will rise. That caught my attention. Yes, hey Karen, I find it funny your name's Karen, but Karen, I've been telling you this since April. We just didn't call it chromosome 8. I don't care what its name is. It's something that's already in your body. What they're claiming is the COVID virus in the test is an already existing part of you, exosome, chromosome, and its job is to actually fight viruses. And their job is to take anything that's true and flip it around. That's exactly what they're doing right here. They're going to convince everyone to take a biometric vaccine that has the third strand of DNA, 322. Look up Nicholson 1968 if you don't understand what that means. They're going to trick everyone into taking that for something that's in your body that actually fights off viruses. How crazy is that? Yeah, I agree. There it is. First, last, nailed it. I think you nailed it. I can't read DNA, but it looks damn close. Bill Gates can crawl up. Nice. He could be cloned. It just amazes me how regular people just he was the richest man on earth, so clearly he knows all about healthcare, vaccines, etc. A crumb of research will tell you all about this guy. His father's main concern was killing off unborn children, and Bill's main concern is killing off everyone. So the apple does not fall far from the proverbial tree. 26-2, yep. Tool, man. At any rate. All right, guys. Richie from Boston. Links will be in the comments below. In the description or whatever. And I am out.